Hey Punch Bunch, we are back to start working on another shelf. Just a couple of housekeeping things at the top of the video. I got a question over at our Patreon asking, one, do I have a goal as far as how many games I'm trying to get rid of? And the answer to that is no. I'm just trying to make room so that the games that are not on shelves can get on shelves. Then the other question is, how am I getting rid of these? Typically, I sell these locally just through Facebook, things of that nature. If it's something that is, has some type of value to it, I may throw it up on Board Game Geek. I may use eBay, different things of that nature. If anything that doesn't sell that way, I will be taking to our con, and we have a flea market there. I'll sell them there, and then after that, if they're still not selling, then we just start giving stuff away. Friends, family, Goodwill, whoever's taking it, I'll just get rid of it that way. So hopefully that answers your questions. And let's push in on this shelf and start getting rid of some games. All right, to start, most of these are going to stay, but to start, the real easy one is going to be Alien Artifacts. This is a Portal game that's kind of a tableau, supposed to be 4X type game. Didn't really live up to that, and it's kind of in the same vein as like 51st State, Imperial Settlers, games that I love. And this one just doesn't get played, so it's gone. Also, I probably had one of the worst teaches ever with that game. I'll just stop there. I won't call out the person who gave me that teach, but you know who you are. The Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea is a game I have not played yet. I'm going to put a little time limit on it. I'm not getting rid of it now, but if I don't get this played by the end of next year, it's going to be gone. Mansions of Madness, one of my wife's favorite games. Otherwise, I would probably get rid of it. It used to be in my top 10. Fantasy Flight doesn't support it anymore. That's the only reason that I would probably get rid of it now. We've gone through all of the scenarios. There is some fan-created content that you can add through an app that someone created. I have not tried that out yet, so maybe we'll try that out. Knox is also starting to get to the age where I think he could handle the spookiness in that game, so we might try that out with him. And then the Great Wall, I finally got to play at PPCon, this past PPCon. And I want to try out the cooperative version of that game. We have a couple that we game with once a month that loves cooperative games, and I think they would really enjoy that. So that will also stay. So yeah, we're going to keep moving on down here and keep working. And I'm filming this out of order, so I'm not even sure what I've said. But if you haven't really noticed, my games are not really necessarily organized a certain way. Things kind of fit in where they fit in. And there's a lot of times, I pull a game off and it will go back to a different place on the shelf. So I'm just letting people know that there's going to be just random games everywhere. Especially card games, just slot them in like you're seeing right now. So on this shelf, we have a bunch of card games just kind of thrown in there. Wizard Extreme, both great little game. Wizard is basically oh hell if you've played that card game. Wizard Extreme is a Stefan Dora game. I think the US version is Slough Off, which I think you can still get. I think Eagle Griffin puts that one out. Voodoo Prince, which is one of my favorite Reiner Knizia games, actually. This one got re-released as Marshmallow Test, which is, and it's a little streamlined, but I believe I've heard Reiner Knizia say that that's the version that he created. In this version, the publisher added some stuff. I like what the publisher added, so I'm going to keep this version. I think both are out of print at the moment, though. Next, Pulsar 2849. This is one that I actually was planning on selling at this past PPCon in the flea market, but it actually got enough votes where it made it into the library. Of course, no one played it, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it now. It's a fine game. It's just, it's a game that I honestly, I have not played in years and really don't have that much of an interest to go back to it. Destinies is now kind of the game for me that has replaced Mansions of Madness as kind of my go-to app-driven game that's, almost like a video game. So we'll hang on to Destinies for now. Circus Flicati. Another Reiner Knizia. I just got this particular copy in. I used to have the flea version, but the 25th Century is re-releasing it. Jumbo, which is a great little two-player game that I play with the wife quite often. I believe Asante is the version that came out after that. I don't know if either one of them are in print. I don't think so. Texas Showdown, Steak Elm, Direct Dran. Steak Elm and Texas Showdown I enjoy quite a bit. Direct Dran, it's a weird card game. I've only played it once. It was not particularly thrilling or good. It was actually quite boring. It's hard for me to get rid of card games, though. I do like card games. And I like weird card games. So it's going to stay. We'll hang on to it. I think everything else here... Oh, actually, Crossfire. So the rest of these are just... this one is kind of like my favorite version. I'm not going to try to say it. It's in German. This is my favorite... it's not Six Nymph, but it is kind of in the realm of Six Nymph, and this is kind of my favorite version of that game. So we're going to hang on to that. The only one that I would probably actually get rid of in this whole section is Crossfire, which is a party game from Plaid Hat. And it's not a bad party game. It's just, I usually play 2-player or 3-player games. So it can go. The rest of that, though, I'm going to hang on to. I like all these games. The only other one that is possibly in question is Bandada, which is a quick little 1 to 2-player game. But I actually like it as a little solo game that you can play in like 10 minutes. So it's safe for now. All right, moving on. All right, on to the shelf. And there's a lot of random card games thrown in here. Anunzi, which the original game was Eternity. I sold that copy just because someone offered me a pretty good deal for it when it was kind of out of print. And then they re-released it as Anunzi, which I'm pretty sure I saw this on Miniature Market for like $1.50. Well worth that price for sure. This one is a Alexander Pfister little card game. I think it translates to Greed in English. And in this game, you are essentially, you have a hand of cards and you're, plucking cards from other people. And you're trying to collect sets. And you're trying to avoid this guy. I honestly don't remember what happened. It's bad if you get him, if I remember correctly. But a decent little card game. Like I said, weird card games are always safe here. So I probably won't be getting rid of any of these card games. Tybor the Builder, another Alexander Pfister card game. Very good. Frank Zoo, I love its little shedding game. Mamooz, which is BS, essentially, like a child's version of BS. We play that with the kids. When they outgrow that one will probably go. And then Skull King, which is a punchboard favorite. Meadow can definitely go. Meadow, it's a beautiful game. And that's kind of where my praise for the game ends. It is way too long for just kind of a basic set collection game. Definitely overstays its welcome. And I even think a lot of people shorten the game by 2 rounds because of that. But honestly, I have better set collection games that I enjoy more that I don't have to mess with, make house rules for. So Metal can go. All right, then we got Terracotta Army. This is another one that I shouldn't have even bought it. I played this with Clef. He taught myself, and I believe Dan was with us that day. Maybe even Chad. I think it was like a Chad birthday game day type day. I played it. It was good. I like what's going on in it. And then, Clef put it up for sale almost immediately. He did not care for it. And I'm pretty sure he even tried to talk me out of buying it from him. And I should have listened because it has not been played since that day. So it will go ahead and move on to a new home. Atlantis Rising, which this is the 2nd edition. I used to own the 1st edition, sold it. Once again, if a game goes out of print and it's hard to find and you offer me on BGG, money for it, I will usually accept those deals. Because typically, if it's a good game, it's going to get re-released. So Atlantis Rising 2nd edition with Vincent Dutrait art. Love it. It's staying. Village it's going to stay for now. But I'm also going to put a time limit on this. This is one that I've been wanting to get back to. I used to play with Jessica quite a bit. But it's been a while now. But I have all the expansions for it. I do enjoy it. And I kind of want to get back to the table one more time before I actually let it go. So we'll put a timer on this one as well. If I don't get it played by the end of next year, then it's gone. Green Deal, which I believe is my oldest game on my shelf of shame. It is the same designer as Clans of Caledonia, and I've heard decent things about it. I bought it for some reason, and honestly, I don't know why I bought it. 3 to 5 it's a terrible play count for me. It's starting to get better now that Knox is playing more games, but he's not going to want to play anything like this. So we can let Green Deal go, since I don't ever see myself playing it. So yeah. Dune is in my top 10 of all time. Fantastic game. We have a yearly Dune game at PPCon. That is the reason that it is so high up in my top 100. Just a fantastic game. Endeavor. I have the geek bits for Endeavor, which kind of makes it tough to want to get rid of it when you buy those. It is a good medium light game that actually runs pretty quick. So we'll hang on to it. I do enjoy Endeavor. Bitter Up, which I think was re-implemented from a little card game called You're Bluffin'. There's a bunch of different auctions in here. There's 2 different ways. There's an advanced game and a regular game. But essentially, it's a set collection game where you're trying to win these different animals through auction and trying to build better sets. I like it. I like it more than Metal as far as when we're talking set collection games. So we'll hang on to it. Naya is a little 2-player game. Is no longer called Naya. You can still get it, I believe, from Blue Orange. I don't know what they changed the name to. I'll pop it up on the screen if I remember. But this is one that when Jessica was pregnant with our first kid, we played it a ton. And because it's the perfect, simple, 10 minutes? Yeah, it's about a 10-minute game. And you're just trying to, you're taking tiles, which will then force your opponent to take certain tiles, and you're just trying to get, I think it's 4 in a row. Very simple game. It's one that I hung on to thinking that the kids might want to play it, but they really have not been interested in it. So Naya, even though I had a good time, it's gone. Fuji Flush, Parade, and Chimera, those are all 3 fantastic card games. They're not going anywhere. So we can move on to the next part of the shelf. All right, so starting this shelf off with White Castle. I actually enjoy White Castle quite a bit. I love games where you just have a limited amount of actions, but you get to do a lot within it. So that will stay. We got a couple of Oink games. I know this one is Deep Sea Adventure, which is a classic around here. And then Float Sim Fight, which is, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really. I've played it. I don't really remember it, which would probably be a sign to get rid of it. But it's a card game, people. Card games stay here. Coyote, which is a great little party game. Gudetama, actually, you know what? I just said card games stay here. Gudetama can go. Gudetama is based off of a traditional card game called Cucumber. I bought it strictly because of the art and the fact that my kids watched this show on Netflix for a while. And I thought maybe they could play it because it is a very simple game, almost plays itself. That's my issue with it. There's really not much going on. And even though the art is cute, I do truly hate Cucumber, which is what it's based off of. So Gudetama. First card game, I believe, gone. And then a Bluxen, which is a Cromer and Kiesling. Cromer and Kiesling, and it's a card game. It's not going anywhere. Big fan of Cromer and Kiesling. You'll see that as we go through my collection. Big fan of this at 2 players as well. It has a fantastic 2-player variant that I would highly suggest. This is the new printing of it, which I think you can even just get off of Amazon. So it's pretty easy to get. Then going back, we got Last Aurora. This is on my shelf of shame. Have not played it yet. Very interested and excited to still try that one. So that's not going anywhere. Earth can go. Earth can go. There's really no one in my game group that enjoys Earth, and my wife wasn't that crazy about it. And if I ever really want to play it, I can play it on Board Game Arena. So Earth, we're going to find you a new home. Crescent City Cargo, which is a Spielworks game. I like it. It's a lot of micro turns, and it's actually a super crunchy Euro. So we're going to hang on to that one. Then going over here, we got Pandemic Fall Rome, which I think is my favorite version of Pandemic. I mean, outside of the legacy versions, but I think that is my favorite, and that's Paul Amore, I believe. So that's not going anywhere. Potato Man, Trick Raiders, that little box below Trick Raiders is Push. Those are all great games. Let's see. Then we got Kemet, Inish, Cyclades. Those are all safe. Forest Shuffle, not actually. You know what? These two are not safe here. This one is a solo only game where you are French resistance fighting against Nazis. It's a really good game. It gets samey pretty quickly, so that can go. Forest Shuffle is my biggest issue with Forest Shuffle is that it's just not balanced, and it takes 1,000 years to score it when you play the physical version. But I'm trying to remember what it is. It's the deer wolf strategy. You will get blown out if you try to do anything but that, especially in 2 players. So for that reason, it's gone. It's just not enjoyable to have to chase the exact same strategy each time, especially when there's so many cards in here and so many different scoring conditions. So Forest Shuffle, you can go. I did play the expansion on Board Game Arena. It didn't really change anything. I got blown out because I tried to do some of the expansion stuff, and the person I was going against just did the wolf strategy, and they won. All right, so that's that part of the shelf. We're going to move on to the last part of this shelf. All right, last part of the shelf, we have Mountain Photographer, which is a little trick taker that you draft your hand as you play, or each round. Cool little card game. Not going anywhere. Dude can go. Dude, I didn't even buy Dude for myself, but it's just a stupid little party game. My wife needed a game for her game night with some work friends that are not really gamers. And I suggested this. They had a good time with it, I believe. But I don't think she's ever taken it since. So maybe they didn't. Either way, it's leaving my collection. It's a funny game though. Colorado is a classic in our house. CO2 is on my shelf of shame. I want to try it. I specifically got it to play solo, and because I want to play solo and to play the cooperative version of the game. So I'm going to hang on to that. Project Elite, I enjoy quite a bit, and I'm really excited once Knox is a little bit older and he can actually handle some real-time games. Yokai Septep, which is it's a trick taker that's kind of like based off of Euchre, or at least has some, some things going on in it that are just like Euchre. And that Euchre was my childhood trick taker that I played growing up. So we'll hang on to that. Battle Line, classic Knizia. That's not going anywhere. Orichalcum and Victoria Masterminds are definitely going. Orichalcum, pretty sure the last time I played it, I just shoved everything in the box because I knew I was not going back to it. It's forgettable. Yeah, I just threw everything in the box. It's very forgettable. It's actually a gigantic production for what it is. Like, everyone has these gigantic player mats. But it's a very simple game, very forgettable, and very samey after you play it a couple of times. So Orichalcum, gone. And then the other one that I said was Victorian Masterminds, which is a Bauza and Eric Lane game. It has great miniatures, since it's a cool mini or not game. But once again, samey. Once you play it once, you know what's going on in the game. And honestly, you don't need to play it again, which I won't be. So that one's gone. Last Light, I have not gotten a chance to play yet. I picked that up for PPCon, just to have it at PPCon. But I don't even know if anyone played it there either. And then Startups and Basari are just two little card games. Basari is a little like auction type game as well. But those are both great games, not going anywhere. So that's it for this shelf. All right, Punch Bunch. Another, I think, 14 games gone, which I'm happy about. So we're doing good work here. That's it for this video. I'm going to do an update on the games that made it back onto the shelf. Right now, I'm recording this at halftime of Monday Night Football, so I'm trying to go quick. So we're not going to get that video done right away, but we will get that update out probably next week. And I'll update as far as what gets back onto the shelf from the floor. But thanks for watching. Like I mentioned in the very beginning of the video, we do have a Patreon. If you would like to support, the link will be in the description of this video. If you can't support financially, 100% understand. If you could just like and subscribe, that is free and that helps out greatly. So thank you once again for watching, and we will see you in the next video.